To be the best, first, you gotta believe.
Believe in that undeniable ability
To defy gravity. To freaking shine, baby.
To never quit.
to be a warrior,
Shake off the hate.
To dominate.
Destroy.
to be their worst nightmare.
To remain champion.
Now, with the whole world watching, it's time to believe.
Believe.
In the big time.
Things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. The way that things have been. Second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail. I'm the master of my sea. The master of my sea. But they never did, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke up when it rained down. Whose game is this? It rained down like.
Acknowledge me. It's the tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
It may be LA Knight's game, but it's Roman Reigns' world.
Over 1,100 days as champ, I've done things that you would never imagine in this business. This is my WWE.
As far as where I'm looking, I'm the head of the table, so acknowledge me.
Do we believe it? What do you think? This is Riyadh. This is big time. This is WWE Crown Jewel.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken. What is up, peeps? We have a post-show today. We are going to be talking about Crown Jewel, and I am not doing it alone. Let me bring in my co-host. Dre, what's up, man?
Yo, what it do, PCW crew? Hey, pop quiz.
What's up?
FMK damage control.
Oh. Wow, you got me on the spot here. I mean, F. Bailey, Mary, Io Sky, Kill Dakota guy.
I'm actually the same. Yeah, Bailey, no question. Them cheeks is getting clapped.
Give me some of that classic Japanese cooking.
Yeah. I don't know. Io, she's probably Io might be my second favorite women's wrestler in WWE right now after Bianca.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know how it happened, but yeah, she's really grown on me in the last year.
Yeah, dude, wrestlers will do that to you. Like, they'll come in, and they'll be a manager, one day, and then in less than a year, they got everybody saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how quickly everybody can get on the bandwagon. But you know what? Let's bring on somebody else on our bandwagon here. And it's not Doyle. It's not. We got a surprise guest because Doyle didn't do his homework. I'm gonna blast him. He's been busy. He didn't do his homework. He didn't watch Crown Jewel. He missed it. I'm shocked.
How dare you, sir?
So he better be listening, catching up, doing his homework. He missed out. He missed out. But covering for him, somebody who came in for the hot tag. Let's bring him in. For the hot tag, Carlos. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
I can't wait to break this down with you and see how we can predict these storylines go into Survivor Series. As far as the FMK with damage control, I will have to say sweep it. And I copy your guys' homework. We're going to go ahead and just clean the board and move on from there.
Everybody's wifing up Io, huh?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. She's got something going on right now. As long as she gets to bring that title with that gold.
Or Dakota.
Oh, yeah. Dre, I mean, we're in Saudi, and I thought we were going to be outside because, I mean, how often do we go to Saudi and it's always outside. We either, I'm always worried about the lighting. I totally forget about the weather, but I'm always worried about the lighting. If you guys recall a WrestleMania one year, it was outdoors and they had Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. It was still daylight out. So their entrances just didn't hit the same, So, but, in this case, I thought about the weather, and people were talking about rain and stuff, and then, the show started up, and I was like, oh, shit, wait, they're inside.
But I mean, it's Saudi Arabia. It's the desert. How often does it rain in the desert?
I know, right? And you know what? Carlos, you reminded me, man. Like, I totally forgot about the one time it did pour, during wrestling. Good callback on the Discord.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Dre, I mean, do you want to take it from here? Do you want to take the reins? You want to take the tag, sir? Just
Yep.
do your thing.
Yep. So this 2023 Crown Jewel took place from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at the Mohammed Abdul Arena. Reported attendance of just over 10,000 people. Seems awfully small for a Crown Jewel. You would think they would do more for that, especially as much money they're putting out. But
it looked very small. Like, I don't know about you, Carlos, but like to me, for like a Saudi show, it looked very small. I was expecting way larger. This just seemed like an average pay-per-view size event. Like, what, 10,000 people?
Right, like, yeah, that seems like that's a small arena here in the States. I wonder, like, is it starting to lose its luster over there in Saudi Arabia a little bit, or did they just kind of scale it down this time around, given the maybe weather and other geopolitical circumstances? Who knows?
Yeah,
but
that's possible.
But those 10,000 people in there they did a good job of making themselves sound like more than 10,000 people. At least for the times when they were invested in the matches.
Yeah.
So props to them for that. So kicking off the PLE in the pre-show, we had Sami Zayn taking on JD McDonough, in which Sami Zayn achieved the victory, not with a haluva kick, but with his Blue Thunder Bomb after the haluva kick, oddly enough. Now, this match, I actually missed it because, full disclosure, I didn't actually catch this show live because I was working that Saturday, and this thing aired at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was at work, very busy. So I caught the replay at night, and then when I watched it at night, I just jumped straight to the show and totally forgot about the fact that they had a match in the pre-show.
Right.
But so I have no thoughts about the match itself, but it does seem rather odd that that Sami Zayn was in a pre-show match and not on the main show itself. Somebody of his caliber, Sami Zayn, one of the top faces in the company, JD McDonough, a in or out or affiliate of arguably the top stable in the country right now, in the company right now, because you could argue that Judgment Day right now is kind of eclipsed Bloodline, at least what's left of Bloodline right now, with Roman being hella part-time and Solo and Jimmy doing all the work, and Jay left and is now a top babyface. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could argue Judgment Day is a top stable, heel stable in the company right now. So putting two people in a pre-show match seems like an odd choice, especially Sami Zayn, who apparently was super over with the crowd.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems like a rather odd choice in that regard. But what are your thoughts on it, Wayne?
You know what? I didn't catch this match either. Because, most of the pre-shows as of late have been nothing but the kickoff panel. I mean, we did see that it was booked, I guess, but yeah, like I don't know, I just never got around to watching it because I was actually watching it live, so I was like, I got home just in time to catch it, and it was actually pretty nice having the pay-per-view in the middle of the day, and then like when it was over, it's like, all right, now what? Because normally after these pay-per-views, it's like, I'm going to bed. I mean, that's how most pay-per-views end, right? Like, we're all beat. It's just like, especially some of these shows, like, they drag them out, like, real late. And it's just so weird to be like, now what? So, yeah, I don't know. Did you enjoy watching it at night? Like, are you glad you watched it later at night? Or do you think you had FOMO, like you missed out during the...
I didn't have any sense of FOMO because I pretty much avoided social media and everything all day. So nothing was spoiled for me. And after I got off work, I went to the gym, got a good workout in. So having that to come home and to watch was nice. It was nice to have something to do for that Saturday night,
Yeah.
Got done at the gym, grabbed something to eat on the way home, sit home, was like, all right, cool. Time to watch some WWE. Granted, I did underestimate how tired I would be after working all day and going to the gym, so there may have been some points in this show where I dozed off and then woke up and was like, oh shit, gotta rewind, missed something. Yeah. But outside of that, watching it at night, just my Saturday night is always usually dedicated to anime. That's usually my get down on Saturday nights, barring a WWE PLE. My Saturday nights, food, anime, I'm chilling. I'm in the crib. I'm good. So, and watching this at night just felt like watching any other WWE PLE. So, I wouldn't say that it was like nicer or anything. It just was a good norm normal thing that I typically do with their shows. So
yeah, and
that's pretty much where it was at with me.
How weird to have Sammy on the kickoff show, like with just how much popularity he's had in the past year, and like how he was known for like not going over there for so long, and it's just as of recent that he started going over. And I mean, I get he's fine. I guess he's content with where he was booked, but you know, just to make it's just it's at the end of the day, I guess for us, it's just a you know that was where he was booked in the time slot. But either way, you could still go back and watch it. The people at the crowd that were there experienced it. So kickoff show or not, you know, and they throw it right in the middle of the panel, which is so weird because it's like because when I started it, the pay-per-view again, because when we do these shows, sometimes we like to, like right now, I have it playing in the background with no sound. So like when I started it, it started like the full hour of the kickoff show, and I was like trying to fast forward it, and then I found the Sami Zayn match. I was like, well, it's too late for that. So, you know, but yeah, weird. Carlos, did you catch that match at all? I mean,
no, I did not catch the Sami Zayn and JD McDonough match.
Nobody did.
No, because it's just been like accustomed to it's just the kickoff and like Kayla and whoever, Booker T and third person, I forget who it is, just talking for like an hour trying to hype you up for this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And like you said, you guys said that it was like put out there that they were going to have this match, but I never saw anything like that. But then again, my whole kind of like algorithm has been on X ever since, you know, Elon took it over. I don't get everything up to date, and sometimes it doesn't even refresh itself. So sometimes I get the things a little bit later than I normally would have when it was like okay. So unfortunately, as far as like this match is concerned, I missed it. I probably would have enjoyed it just because you know, I've been like on Sami Zayn's bandwagon for like ever since he kind of like joined the Bloodline and now he left the Bloodline. Yeah. And I've always felt that he should have actually gotten the win if over Roman Reigns, either at the Elimination Chamber that they had in Montreal, or if they eventually build up to that. Because I feel like that probably would have been like the perfect end. Will Sami, in my book, ever have like a long championship reign? No, but I think it would just help pay off the crowd and all the fans that have been like following the storyline. I think that's the best ending for me.
Yeah.
Now, see, that kind of speaks to the questionable booking choice of putting him on the pre-show, because all three of us missed it, and I'm pretty sure we ain't the only three people who missed it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there were other people who were like, they are like, you know, the show kicks off at 1, probably thinking the same thing like us, like, okay, 1, they know the first hour is just pre-show, so they're like, I'll cut it on at 2, or they may have cut it on at 1 and didn't pay attention, just had it on in the background, but what have you, just like the normal PLE time, they say like, you know, start time is at 7, but we know the real show doesn't start till actually 8, so normally I don't cut it on until 8 o'clock, because I know that's when the actual PLE starts.
I can just picture like people walking into the arena, you know, like kind of like how me and Doyle and Dave would, like, we walk in, we get in there like the beginning of the first match. They're probably walking in like a little early, and then that Sami Zayn match, you can hear his music. Oh shit, we are late.
Right.
Like,
and then that match happens, and then nothing happens for another 30 minutes.
Right? Can you imagine that? Like, you get all that hype, all this energy, you just got off of listening to Sami Zayn's music, you know, you're fucking still singing his music, and then it's like, for nothing for the next half hour. It's like, fuck.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's a weird, just an odd choice of, again, somebody of his caliber being in the pre-show. You think they could make, match could have easily been the kickoff match for the actual PLE itself, and y'all could have used the pre-show to showcase some development talent or something.
Dude,
somebody in your mid card could have gotten that pre-show slot. Like, imagine if the show would have. Imagine the hype of kicking off the show with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
The actual PLE and seeing that pop.
Yeah. Holy shit. Like, as I'm watching this, I totally forgot how much purple is in this arena. How many purple lights. How many big, bright green diamonds. Just like this solid...
all the RGB puke.
Oh, God.
All the RGB was going.
Like there's just this massive green diamond. And, like now that I'm watching it on my computer, it's a little bit easier. But, like, when you're watching it on, like, a big screen TV in 4K, like, it's just so much bright colors in your face. Like, and as pay-per-view nights go, you know, you drink a little, you toke a little, and as the night goes on, those bright colors start to get, you know, annoying. So, but hey, you know, at least it was a good match to start the, you know, to kick off the show. I guess that was the point, right? But at least the world title match for the first match.
Yeah, you know, at least the Sami Zayn got the crowd hyped. They probably had him ready, ripping and raring to go. Speaking to that big green diamond, I ain't gonna lie, it was about halfway through the show before I realized that was actually a screen and not like some graphic overlay that they had like they do on their superstars when they enter. Like, I was watching the whole time, like, that is a cheap ass looking diamond sitting up there. Who the fuck did that little lazy ass graphic? They're like halfway through the show. I was like, oh, that's a screen.
It's like
I caught it on somebody else's entrance.
Ever, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. So moving on to the actual PLE. So we opened up with Seth freaking Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. Which, you know, if you ain't gonna kick off the show with Sami Zayn, this ain't a bad alternative with Seth Rollins. He came out to a tremendous pop, and everybody's singing his theme. Drew McIntyre came out to a moderately sized pop as well. Like, he hasn't gone full heel yet, so he's kind of in. But the pop, I noticed, wasn't quite as loud as he would normally get as a babyface. So he's starting to transition in the minds of the fans. He's kind of like in between right now. They don't know where to go. They don't know whether to cheer for him or whether to start booing him yet. So the pop he got seemed a bit tepid. But the match itself was actually, to me, a pretty good match. I thought it was a strong match to kick off the show. Drew did a good job of looking strong and dominating Rollins a lot. He did show some signs of some heelish behavior with a little bit of trash talking and slapping around of Seth Rollins. The part of the match, however, that I did not like was the finish, in the sense that I just thought the finish was dumb, in the sense that Drew McIntyre goes for the Claymore, gets kicked in the face, and decides, I'm going to try it again. Misses, gets the pedigree, and then gets stomped 1, 2, 3. I just thought it was kind of a bit of a dumb choice to clearly get your Claymore countered the first time, which, okay, fine. You see another opportunity, you go for it again. But then the second time, you get kicked in the face, and your alternative is, damn, he just kicked the shit out of me trying to do that. Let me try it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to work out differently 5 seconds later. I thought that was just kind of a little bit lacking in ring psychology. But that's a small blemish in an otherwise good match. Carlos, what'd you think of it?
Well, this match, I thought it was on the same kind of opinion that you have. You know, like, it was a good match pretty much until we got like a very hurried kind of finish where, you know, like, and Drew was like really intent on hitting his finisher, the Claymore. But from what I've seen here, it's like in our podcast, we watch all these WrestleManias to help my wife kind of like, even though she probably didn't have to get up to speed when we go to WrestleMania 40. But
and what is the name of that podcast, Carlos?
It's Revisiting the Mania.
And where can people find that, Carlos?
They can find us on our YouTube live channel called Revisiting Mania. And we also do a Facebook Live at the same time. Also find on our Facebook page, Revisiting the Mania. Thank you.
Damn right. Y'all heard it. Check them out.
So it's just like before, like, just to get my explanation out of the way. Sorry, I might go a little long, but you had like small things win, like a small package, a quick roll up, and like the occasional submissions. And since we're transitioning more to like the Attitude Era and a little bit later, now finishers and have been more common. And I think now maybe they're like altering back into like having more of those pop up, where we have like small package roll ups and things like that. But this one was like, for some reason, just like booked for like Drew to continue to try to get his Claymore, and it doesn't seem like it didn't fit with the character that we're trying to do here. You know, like obviously Seth is the face and Drew's kind of like going heelish, but if he's going heelish, he shouldn't just be trying to depend on his finisher. And that's like something that really I felt like just felt out of place and didn't feel like that they kind of completed the story they're trying to tell with this match.
You know, that's a good point. That is a very good point. You usually don't see heels relying on their finisher for a win. Yeah. They usually rely on some sort of counter or some sort of cheat or some opportunity to take advantage of the face slipping in order to get a win. But rather than trying to like, I'm going to spam my finisher. Yeah, that's usually something you see that's usually reserved for faces. So yeah, it's a good observation.
Yeah, what a great match to have two faces open up the show here. Because these guys don't have anybody that's really going to interfere, so you know it was going to be a pretty clean finish. Drew getting as close as he can get to another world title that he just cannot get. It was Reigns. He just couldn't, grasp the title from him, and it seems like Seth Rollins has his number now. Seth Rollins being the workhorse that he is, it looks like, he's just going to keep going. He's going to take it to Survivor Series. I did laugh when Damian Priest's music hit. He attempted to cash in at the end. And I just laughed because I didn't believe it. And that's kind of saying something to me. Like, I kind of giggled when Damian Priest's music hit because I just didn't believe he was going to be successful. I was like, he's just not going to get it. But,
exactly. It made... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like the feeling, when there's other people who've held the Money in the Bank briefcase in the past, and when their music have hit, it got you pumped. Like, oh my god, this is it. Classic, guy like Dolph Ziggler when his Money in the Bank cashed in over Del Rio. I mean, holy crap! Like, CM Punk cashing in, Edge cashing in. Like, when we would hear it, we would get excited, and I just felt it. Like, this guy's the next world champ. Like, he's gonna be successful with this cash in. But like when I heard Damian Priest music, I just don't feel it, man. I just don't feel it. I'm not feeling it yet. And that guy,
because it was bad timing. It made zero sense for him to do that then. Right. You mean you're going to sit here and tell us that Damian Priest chose not to cash in after a last man standing match that Seth Rollins was involved in, which he got the absolute dog shit kicked out of him by Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
He's not going to cash in then, but he's going to cash in after a regular old championship match with Drew McIntyre that Seth Rollins won. I won't say easily, but won without looking too ragged afterwards. Just a clear pedigree stomp, 1, 2, 3, I'm done. But now you want the smoke?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
He dug deep. These guys both dug deep in this match. They pulled out all the finishers. They pulled out all the reversals. WrestleMania worthy type match. But I didn't expect anything less from these guys. Two great fucking wrestlers just going at it. And I would have been satisfied with whoever would have left this match. It just furthers the story with Drew at this point. I totally think this man is going down a heel path. He just can't get what he wants, and eventually the man's gonna break. And I think you have that little Rhea over your shoulder talking to you, so it's very convincing. But yeah. Let's see where I guess we'll talk about it at the end of the show, but we kind of know where Seth is going after this.
Yeah.
Next pay-per-view. But, yeah, good match.
Yep. Yeah, that we do. And I agree. It does seem like the real purpose of this match was more just to further Drew McIntyre's story. Mm-hmm. Like, have a good match, but the story of this match was Drew McIntyre coming up short, and what effect is that going to have on his psyche in terms of his seemingly progression towards being a heel. So we'll see where that goes from there. So next up, we got Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship in a fatal 5-way match against Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and Zoe Stark. So this match, in my opinion, had too many people in it. I think this match would have been much better had it just been a regular fatal 4-way or even a triple threat.
Yeah.
Because having this many people in it, everybody had to get a moment, and it just kind of turned into a bit of a spot fest.
Right?
As opposed to any type of real storytelling or much time for much real wrestling or anybody to really showcase themselves that much. It was just mostly like a spot fest. That now, granted, the spots that they pulled off were good. They were great spots. Like, I don't say that to say that the match itself was bad, because it wasn't. It was a good match, but it could have been better with 4 people or even 3. To me, the MVPs of this match were Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler had the spot of the match and arguably the spot of the night.
Yeah.
Where she had 3 submission holds at the same damn time. That spot was fucking dope.
Yeah.
Where she had, Rhea in one ankle lock or one type of toe hold move. Then she had Raquel on the side and the other one, and then was choking out Nia Jax. Like, she looked like a fucking beast in that moment.
Yeah.
She looked like an absolute beast in that moment. I was like, yo, whoever planned that out, give that person a raise, because that was fucking dope. And then Zoe Stark was just performing her usual great self throughout the entire match. She didn't really have like a standout spot, but she did excellent work throughout the match and looked strong, even though she was the one that wound up taking the pin. Well, not taking the pin. She didn't take the pin, but she took the riptide from Rhea Ripley from the middle rope on top of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. With allowing Rhea Ripley to pin Shayna Baszler to retain the title. But again, great match. I just think if anybody could have been cut out of the match, much as I hate to say it, it could have been Nia Jax. I think she did the least amount in the match. She basically just kind of had a few moments where she'd come in, do a little ring clearing, and then get whooped upon, knocked out, and then the other ones went back to work. this match probably could have been much better without her. I think she probably brought the least to the match, in my opinion. But Wayne, what'd you think of the match?
First off, I want to talk about their outfits. I joked about it last episode, but as the years have gone with these crown jewels and matches and these pay-per-views in Saudi, their outfits have changed, and they're no longer wearing the extra large t-shirts. They're not sending like Alexa Bliss out in a Braun Strowman size t-shirt anymore. So now they have like these one-piece jumpsuits, very similar to like I don't know, like what Shinsuke Nakamura would wear, or Goldust would wear, I guess. But they're very. They get to do their own unique, designs and colors with them. So I think it's pretty cool. I just think I sweat like a motherfucker in that. Like, I was just like, man, it's gonna be so hot in that, those jumpsuits or whatever they're wearing, those outfits. But, yeah, it's like little to no skin. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when the women go to Saudi and they wrestle in these outfits, you tend to pay a lot more attention to the wrestling, right? It's just like, oh god, there's a lot more actual wrestling in this match. I noticed. What was up with Rhea's like entrance? She had this like Undertaker green fog type thing going on, right? And like all these guys came out with where they had like chalices or something like that were smoking, and there must have been like 30 of them out there, but they came out like individually, and it was just very
dragged on,
and it got. Here's the thing, Dre, is like it got to the point where like I was like, come on, and then like I just started laughing because it got hysterical because like they just kept popping up out of nowhere. It's kind of like, oh, you don't mind if I bring my cousin to the party? Oh, and my other cousin, and my other cousin. It's just there's like 30 of them. They just like kept popping up, but
it's like DJ Khaled, another one.
I understand, like, they were like, oh, let's do, like, the Druids, like, with the Undertaker, it would be, like, so cool. But instead of going all out at one time, we're going to do it individually, like high school graduation. It's like, fuck. But anyway, yeah, dude, like I said, this thing was just going to be a big old spot fest. Everybody was going to get their licks in. But I totally agree with Shayna Baszler having the spot of the night. The highlight of that match with that triple submission. That was so cool. So cool. You don't get many good spots like that for submission moves. We've seen similar ones where they put like 2 people in a submission move, but to do 3, and she had it like the way she had her legs propped. I was like, oh man, like that takes a lot of balance. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the girls did a hell of a job selling for her.
Yeah,
down there, because they easily could have like just phoned it in and just laid there like they were in pain, but no, they were all selling the shit out of it too.
Yup, and like as soon as the match started, they all went right after Nia. It's like, let's take her out, because she rolled out for a hot minute. Some chicken shit stuff. We got the superplex spots with like the 4 women doing the super duper plex, which the women always do pretty well. It didn't look like I don't think it looked like Nia hurt anybody this match. Thank God. But for a women's match, it wasn't a complete shit show. It's just too many cooks in the kitchen. But I get it. Maybe the point was to get, as many women as they could on the card. But I think we all saw who's going to come out champion in this match. Now where Rhea goes from here, we'll talk about it afterwards. She already has now. Well, fuck it. We'll just talk about it now. Like, there was a fatal 4-way, 5-way, 4-way.
Wasn't a fatal? What? Someone on Raw?
Yeah, the one that was.
Yeah, they had a Rumble.
Yeah, that was just Battle Royal.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Battle Royal, and Zoe Stark won as number one contender, which, oh my gosh, you know what? Speaking of, that kind of rolls right in. Well, actually, you know what? Before I get there, let's hear Carlos's opinion on this match, and then we'll circle back to this because it involves the question of the episode. Carlos.
As far as this match, I thought it was like okay. I think I had made this known on the Discord that I thought already having it be a fatal 5-way was going to be too much. Yeah, they're probably like trying to clear out like Rhea's contenders or possible top contenders all in one fell swoop. But then they get into this whole thing where they want to have a battle royal the next day on Raw. So it's like they just threw like shit on the wall and they're hoping that something will stick and something comes out of it. So. And the only thing that was kind of like exciting to me was like you mentioned that spot where the submission was being put on two different people, and then the spot at the end where she takes Zoe and Rhea takes Zoe and does the riptide on top of Raquel, and while she's pinning Shayna, and then that was a pretty cool spot and very creative in my opinion. But other than that, I mean, it's just like there's like nothing that I think that any other person probably added. Like Nia Jax, they brought her back. She's supposed to be like this big, intimidating person, and then they really didn't do anything for her after she came out and like attacked for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, well, now we're gonna put you in this fatal 5-way match. So just could have done without her. Maybe it would have been better as a triple threat, where we would have had maybe Rhea, Raquel, and Zoe. But it's still kind of like I would have preferred just to have like a one-on-one type of match.
Right.
This seemed like an excuse, basically, just to put their top Raw women minus Becky Lynch in a match again and have Rhea defend the title again finally, but not make anybody look weak.
Right.
Because they want to make her and try to sell people that she's still dominant because, I beat 4 other women in a match. But yeah, just wound up kind of being a whole lot of nothing in the midst of some good spots rather than really accomplishing anything. Like, nobody really got elevated. Nobody really looked weak. If anything, is what we're about to get into, the Battle Royal this past Monday on Raw did more for the women who participated in that match than the actual Fatal 5-Way, ignoring the fact that it was kind of dumb to have a Battle Royal right after the PLE. Yeah. And it all basically just came down to the same women who were just in the Fatal 5-Way wound up being the final competitors in the damn Battle Royal Monday. That's kind of some dumb booking. Plus the new girl whose name escapes me at the moment from the Creed brothers, who's associated with them, which she had a pretty good showing. Huh?
Ivy Nile?
Ivy Nile, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, it was basically the same 4 women from the Fatal 5-Way plus her in the end, which, I mean, good for her. She looks good having a strong showing in that match and making it towards the end before standing outside of the ring for no goddamn reason for an inordinate amount of time.
Yeah.
Just for Nia Jax to come snatch her off the rope. Like, that looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the other three are in the ring, clearly staring at Nia Jax, and you out on the outside looking at them. Like, get in the motherfucking ring. What the fuck are you doing? Just standing there waiting for Nia to realize, oh shit, I need to snatch her off the rope. Or snatch her off the apron. And then finally snatch her. Like, okay. That spot shouldn't have taken as long as it did, but it is what it is. But the Battle Royale did make Shayna. I'm glad that it came down to Shayna and Zoe.
Yeah.
I am glad that those two, because those were my two faves going into that match, my two picks. I'm glad that they didn't go with the big girls of Raquel, the big strong woman of Raquel and Nia. Yeah. Glad they got eliminated. Shayna and Zoe got to shine a little bit in the end. Had a good finish where, with Zoe kicking the crap out of Shayna and then hitting her with a nasty little DDT or something?
Yeah.
To take her out?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Looks good. Good showcase for them. Like I said, I'm glad that those two were the final two in the Battle Royal. Shayna remains looking strong coming out of it. Zoe, she's in the midst of a really good push. I think her and Rhea can have a really good match at Survivor Series. Because again, Zoe is a very good worker in the ring, and we all know what Rhea can do. So it's just a matter of Zoe just developing her personality a little bit more, developing her character a little bit more. But she's on her way, and I like what they're doing with her, and I'm looking forward to the match.
Yeah. The question I have for the episode it's actually retains to the last match, so I'll just wait to the end. But yeah, I don't got nothing else to say about this match. A lot of women got put on the card, so good for them.
Any final thoughts on the match, Carlos?
No,
or the
we
Battle
can move
Royal,
on.
or moving forward.
No, we can just move on.
All right. Well, after that Fatal 5-Way women's match, we got John Cena facing Solo Sikoa 1-on-1 in a match to see if John Cena could finally break his 2,000-plus day losing streak. The man ain't won a singles match since 2018.
Oh my God.
2018. It was a whole different world back in 2018. This man been a loser since COVID. And it didn't change tonight because he took a L to Solo. Admittedly, this is when watching this pay-per-view, this is when I realized how tired I was because I absolutely dozed off halfway through and woke up to the little segment that happened afterwards that we can just skip right over and pretend that didn't happen. But I had to rewind back to the finish. But from what I did see of the match, it was a good match. I'm honestly surprised that John Cena lost because the way they were playing up this losing streak and the whole 2,000 days, I really thought that he was going to get the win to send the people home happy, let him redeem himself as a winner. And Solo, to me, doesn't need to be protected that much. I think he can afford a loss and still be Solo, especially somebody to the likes of John Cena. But although I say that he can afford a loss to the likes of somebody like John Cena, I also question whether him getting the win over John Cena is really going to do anything for him. Because, again, John Cena's kind of a loser now. So we saw what the win over John Cena did not do for Austin Theory at WrestleMania. Like, he got the win over John Cena and it did nothing for him. So my question to you all is, does John Cena's name carry the same weight that it used to in terms of building up the next generation of superstars? Because like I said, it did nothing for Austin Theory. It's TBD whether it does anything for Solo. So is John Cena his name starting to lose a little bit of luster. What do you think, Wayne?
And his name is John Cena!
This is the 16-time heavyweight champion of the world. This is John Cena. You can see me, the doctor of thugonomics, the multi-time main event WrestleMania fucking... This is John Cena, man, the GOAT. That's what they keep telling us, though, right? The GOAT. That's what they keep shoving down our throats. The GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. The greatest of all time. I get it. But the greatest of all time hasn't won anything in a long fucking time. Makes me question when I go into my closet and I see all of my John Cena shirts, and I realize at this point in time in John Cena's career, he's just being a fucking sad sack.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
John Cena, what's wrong, buddy?
I've come to talk with you again.
Your career is going to shit.
Because a vision softly creeping.
Don't retire. You still have a few matches left in you, John Cena. Please don't retire, because where are you going from here? I don't want to see John Cena retire just because he's still so fucking young. He still has some gas left in the tank. He still can put over more guys. And for Solo, I mean, come on. Let's look at the big picture here. Solo Sikoa beat John Cena clean with no title involved. He didn't do it for the gold. Most people are doing it for the gold when you're going against John Cena. But guess what? There was no title involved in this. Solo got straight up street cred for this. John Cena, that's a big fucking win for that guy. So, you know, and I agree, Dre. He definitely could have taken an L, and it wouldn't have hurt him. Solo has such a good career thus far on the main roster since he's been here that he could take it an L. And from anybody, definitely John Cena. I mean, damn, Solo's gonna be on fire. Like, where does he go? I mean, he's gonna be one of the top heels of 2024 for sure. If there was ever a guy who could, you know, if he was on the same roster, who could be a threat, I would say he'd be a good threat to a world title. You know, you just beat John Cena clean. And, you know, now with John Cena losing, everybody keeps saying that all these rumors about him retiring. I'm just like, when are you going to either A, finish your Grand Slam and just win the Intercontinental title for a couple days, or when are you going to break that 16-time world title run? You know, what's next for John Cena? You know, what's WrestleMania is, you know, it doesn't seem like it, but for us wrestling fans, WrestleMania is right around the corner for us. And I kind of want to know where John Cena's place is in all of this. But Carlos, what do you think?
I thought that this match, pretty much like you all have mentioned, really couldn't have like affected Solo in any type of way. Like, yeah, Solo is like the enforcer of the bloodline for you know, for Roman Reigns, but he's not going for any titles or anything like that. So you could have just have Solo take the hit and actually have John Cena win. But then you also are coming across where is John Cena actually going to come back after the SAG strike is over? Because I think what I've been reading is that those are just like little like details that they need to hammer out. And as soon as that's done, like the actors are like should be ready to go to wherever commitments they have, because the writers have been back for about a month or a month and a half now. So those shows are pretty much getting ready to ramp back up as soon as the actors are ready. So it kind of felt like it's like the match itself was like, I feel like it was kind of okay. Did John Cena have to take like 8 or 9 or 10, something like that, some Samoan spikes? No, because he's not really, like, to me, a threat. Not only to Solo, but he's not a threat to Roman Reigns. So there is no point of having that type of excessive force, quote unquote, being used on him. So it's like, it feels like it should probably be like a write-off. But
Yeah.
if we see John Cena, on Friday SmackDown, then that pretty much like, do we have Super Cena back? Because now he's able to bounce back from that many Samoan spikes that he's taken. So it's kind of like, as far as like the wrestling match goes, I give that like maybe like a C, but like the whole like psychology and everything of the match is kind of falling short, and I give that an F. So I guess that average is like a D. So I wasn't really a fan of this match, just because it's like, are we gonna get a Solo a push to a championship, to a title ever, or he's just gonna be a lackey for Roman Reigns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see your psychology on it, and yeah, ultimately this match and the outcome just kind of feels like a giant nothing burger. Like, the story was John Cena and his streak. The payoff seemingly should have been him breaking his losing streak and getting a win and having that feel good moment, but instead he just took another L. So John Cena is still a loser.
Heath Slater probably had the best losing streak in WWE history. Do you remember how, like, over he was when he finally won? Like, okay. But John Cena, this is embarrassing. It's not a shtick I like. Dude, like, Carlos, I totally forgot about all the Samoa spikes. Like, the ridiculous amount of them. That just kept happening. And they just kept doing it. And I'm just there clinging my John Cena shirt. I'm just like...
Stop! He's already dead.
Right.
John Cena. Poor John Cena. Like, John Cena got buried. Like, John Cena's not the one doing the burying. But...
that definitely felt like a write-off type of finish. Like, we shouldn't see him anymore. Because, like, if he show up on Friday Night SmackDown and he don't sound like Tone Loc, I'll call bullshit on everything.
He don't sound like
if
John
Laurinaitis. If he's even able to talk at all.
People power.
Hey, don't talk about his who almost became his father-in-law, John Laurinaitis.
But I mean, I guess it is what it is. But
man, you know,
we'll see if this amounts to anything for Solo moving forward. I have my doubts.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of vibes I was getting from this match? I was getting Umaga versus John Cena vibes. You can see that, right? Like, if you go back and watch some old Umaga, John Cena, because they put on some good matches. So
I think Solo hit a Umaga type of splash from the top ropes, and then I think he got like the turnbuckle splash on him too.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I think, Rikishi's cousin, or maybe his brother. I just recently talked about that, like at WrestleMania 9, because that's when Rikishi had come in as the head shrinkers.
Yeah,
and we're gonna start on 14. So I have like, it's like when you like cram for an exam and like all that information just dissipates away from you, and then you can't remember it when you need it.
You knew it then, don't remember it anymore.
Yeah. I was just getting those vibes. I was just like, oh man, like I remember watching like his feud with Umaga. Like I was like, I was just getting those kind of same vibes. But yeah, not a shit match. I was just like, shit storyline. Because where the fuck do you go from here? Man.
Exactly.
So, carry on.
But, yep. So that was that. And afterwards, we got a segment involving Miz TV and a special guest, the Saudi Arabian actor and comedian Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj. No idea who he is. Looked kind of like DJ Khaled. They were interrupted by Grayson Waller, who came out and had his moment, his back and forth with Miz. He wanted to turn the segment into the Grayson Waller effect, and they went back and forth and yada, yada, yada. Fight, beat down. stomps out the Saudi guest. Skull Crusher finale. Saudi guest hits people's elbow. They celebrate, and we move on. So the next match, I'm assuming y'all don't have anything to say about that segment.
Oh, well, I kind of. First off, huge fan of The Miz. I had no idea who that other guy was. I thought he was a musician, and then I was like, I was like, maybe I could Google it, and then I was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, if it's very important, I'm sure Dre will look it up, who he is. But yeah, like, no idea. But I mean, this is more of the Miz turning face, trying to get over. So they've been working on it slowly for the past couple of weeks, 2 weeks here. So I don't know. I just feel like this is also a stepping stone, another leveling up for Miz, going back to being a face.
Yeah, that's kind of pretty much all this was, a continuation of the Miz face turn, which I am 100% here for. He deserves a good, strong face run. As much as he's done in WWE over all these years and been the worker, been the litmus test for all the new guys to see if they have it, if they can go toe to toe with the Miz.
Yeah.
All the work he's put in over the years, he deserves the payoff.
Yeah. So now that we're on the subject of it, okay. So there was a fatal 4-way yesterday for a number one contender for the Intercontinental title, and Miz won. So it's going to be Miz and Gunther at the next pay-per-view. Do you guys believe Miz regaining the Intercontinental title is a possibility? He's had was he an 8-time Intercontinental champion? It would
something like that. He's got a good number of reigns.
Yeah. This is one of the last big things he wants to do for his career. I think the Intercontinental title is for him. I don't think the WWE title is enough. I think the Intercontinental title is the perfect one. And I think it'd be a great way to catapult Miz's career back up to serious, taking him as a serious competitor again, not a joke. But I don't know. I could just be he might just get fucking crushed and next guy. So I have hope for the Miz, and for him to go back to his golden days at his peak. But he might just get crushed by Gunther, and then that's it.
Yeah. I would not be mad if he beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title, but I just don't quite see it. Gunther's almost in that position of Roman, that Roman's in now with the WWE title.
Yeah.
It's hard to see who's going to be the person to finally take him down. You would think that spot would be reserved for, well, I think we pretty much all know who's slotted in to take out Roman, presumably be that excuse me, that person being Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
But Gunther, given that the Intercontinental title is still kind of a mid-card title or that next one up title, it's hard to see who that next person up is.
Yeah.
Because it seems like anybody who's really over or hot like that is being shot immediately to the main event, like Jey Uso, who didn't have to work through the levels of as a singles wrestler. He pretty much was catapulted to the top by proxy of being in the bloodline and having matches with Roman. Same thing with Sami Zayn. He was also elevated by proxy. And everybody else just seems like they're too far down in the mid card to pose a credible threat to Gunther, which by that logic would seem to slot Miz in perfectly, because he may be in the mid card, but he has enough credibility as a as a person who's main evented a WrestleMania, as a 2-time WWE champion, multi-time Intercontinental champion, he has the credibility to be mid-card plus, a slight step above mid-card, but could also be a main eventer at any moment.
You know what I thought of the other day? The Miz, if he were to stay heel, the perfect stable, if you gave Miz his own stable, you could put him with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Those three assholes in one stable. 3 arrogant fucking pricks in one stable. That would be one hell of a... that'd be a stable everybody would hate. Pretty sure.
Yeah, the 3 arrogant freaking pricks. Yeah, that'd probably be the perfect name for that stable.
Their personalities fit. The only slight hesitation I have with it is Miz would kind of come off as being the, quote, old guy in the stable.
Yeah, but, dude, like it or not, that's where he's heading. Miz is getting up there, dude. He just hides it very well. He's been around for a long time. He is the veteran guy.
Yeah. I know, the talent of those 3 guys, they could absolutely make it work without question. Yeah. But I feel like I would see them, I'd look at them and I see, okay, these 2 young arrogant fucks and then the old arrogant fuck.
Yeah. But still, that would be an awesome heel. And then, throw Maurice in there, just as a female character. You got yourself...
I was thinking Chelsea.
Dude, Chelsea Green? That's perfect.
Yeah, Chelsea Green would fit in there.
Damn, there's a stable that I would fucking hate every week. Giving them the microphone every week, dude, just bitch and complain. And as soon as they're done, then Judgment Day comes out, bitches and complains. No, I like it. Damn, we're booking it, guys. I'm gonna go as soon as we get off here. I'm getting on my WWE 2K, and I'm gonna switch some stables around. But I got a better stable idea. Oh man. Okay, anyway, carry on.
All right. So yeah, we got that segment furthering the Miz and him and his face turn. So after that, the next matchup was Rey Mysterio defending the United States Championship against Logan Paul. And this match, a good match. I can't really have no real complaints about the match. Logan Paul came out, showed again his natural aptitude towards this, and shown the thing about Logan Paul that works, that's so good about him is that even though he's wrestling a small handful of matches each year, maybe 3, maybe 4 matches, if that.
Right.
Every time he's in the ring, you see growth and development. You can see tangible development. It's not he's doing the same stuff he did last time. No, he's adding something new to his repertoire every time. He's showing another aspect of his ring skills every time. This particular time, he showed great ring awareness and practically saving Ray's life off of that springboard moonsault, where Ray looked like he was about to totally eat shit and break his neck, and then Logan Paul rushed in and caught him. Now you could also there's also something to be said for the possibility that Logan Paul was not in position like he should have been, and therefore never should have had to save Ray in the first place. That is an argument that could be made, but a lesser competitor would have been out of position, and that would have been a terrible botch. Most wrestlers being out of position like that aren't always going to have the awareness to realize they're out of position, and in that split moment, rush in to make a save like that. Mm-hmm. So props to him for that. And again, the match itself being a good match until, again, another dumb finish. Not in terms of the fact that Logan Paul hit Ray with the brass knuckles to get the pin and become our new United States champion, but more so in the sense that Logan Paul's crony shows up, or his buddy or whatever shows up, hands on brass knuckles. Though that first attempt gets thwarted, brass knuckles go out the ring. Logan Paul's homie goes to go at him, and who pops up over the guardrail? Santos Escobar stops him. Goes picks up the brass knuckles. His buddy runs off, and rather than run off after his buddy, after Logan Paul's buddy to go whip his ass, no, Santos Escobar makes a conscious decision to set the brass knuckles on the apron.
Yeah, so fucking stupid. I laugh.
Who the fuck does that? Now, the only way that segment makes any sense whatsoever is if Santos is turning on Ray. Is if they revisit this on Friday, Ray looks at him and goes, dude, what the fuck? And we get the Santos heel turn. That's the only way that makes any sort of sense. Anything short of that, that was just the dumbest spot of the night. And just WWE blatantly questioning the intelligence of their audience. Everything else outside of that, good match.
Yeah.
With one big giant shit stain on it. But, Carlos, what were your thoughts on this match?
I enjoyed the match. It was a very good match. I do appreciate that Logan Paul, sorry about that, decided to save Ray's life after maybe he underestimated how far Ray was able to come off that springboard. You know, sometimes you might lose your footing or the rope isn't as springy as you would like, you know, when they're probably walking this through like either when they're plotting out the spots or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So good awareness and making sure that Ray doesn't have another neck injury there. But it was you know, just like you mentioned, Logan Paul just coming out here and he's just making it seem like anyone can just come up here into the ring and just pull all of these moves. The only thing, if I had a critique on him as far as like his performance, is like he is still trying to make that buckshot lariat clothesline work that Hangman Adam Page does in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still not being fluid. Like, if he wants to keep doing it, that's fine, but until you actually get it to be more fluid, and I know it's kind of a like tough type of move to pull off, so I appreciate that he's like committed to making it work, but it's still not working as fluid as when Hangman does it. So the finish was kind of okay. I think when I heard you guys talking about the preview here, mostly all of you probably predicted that Logan Paul was going to win. And I also had agreed with that because it's like this run with Rey Mysterio, if it wasn't Logan Paul that had beat Rey for this title, it should have either been Santos after a heel turn and taking the LWO with him, or maybe Dom. Like, Dom finally decides that he wants the NXT North American and the U.S. title, and probably just merge both of those together. But yeah, it's a good. I think it's a good call. Get the belt off Ray. I guess Logan Paul has nothing else to do. No one to knock out or try to set up another fight. Maybe he'll buy another Pokemon card and lose some money on that because it's a fake. So everything's coming up Logan Paul. So good for him. And as far as like, as long as he keeps the work and he's committed to actually honing his craft there, I don't mind him.
Yeah. I agree with you about him and the that clothesline that he goes for. Because I noticed it in the match itself. He I don't know if his knees buckled or something like that, but there was like like you said, it's not as fluid as what Hangman Adam Page does. He can easily just flow right from that front flip right into the clothesline, whereas Logan, he did the front flip and noticeably paused, almost like he had too much momentum or something like that, and caught himself, then went into the clotheslines. Yeah, you can still see a little bit of the noob in him at times, and some things where he still needs to kind of polish his craft a little bit at times. So yeah, in that regard, I do agree with you. And yeah, it did make sense for Logan to win this match. And I just now thinking about it, I almost kind of wonder how much better this could have been had it been Logan Paul versus Santos Escobar, and had he defeated Santos Escobar to become the U.S. champion. And we would have gotten a decent Santos Escobar run as IC champion, then transitioning to Logan. And maybe that could have done a little bit more. I mean, not IC, as United States champion. And maybe those two back-to-back runs could have done a little bit for this U.S. title. But TBD. Wayne, what are your thoughts on the match?
I mean, the match itself was great. Logan Paul is in good hands with such a senior member of the roster like Rey Mysterio. And I think that's a big win for him as well. Like, that's a way bigger win than it would have been Santos Escobar. And, like, way more heat, too. He'll get way more heat for this. And the way he went about it, he did it dirty. He did it with some brass knuckles. Once again, somebody we don't even know who's part of his crew interfered. I mean, we discussed that. That's just guaranteed. Now this title is going to be on the road. It's going to be on YouTube. I feel like Logan Paul is the type of guy, like, if he's willing to walk around with a damn Pokemon card around his neck, what the hell do you think he's going to do with a WWE United States Championship? He's going to take it with him wherever he fucking goes. I mean, you got to look in that kid's eye, like when if you look when he gets pyro. Logan Paul gets pyro. You look at his face, man. Like, he is the happiest kid in the world. This guy was I was watching his Vines years ago, like, and now this guy's the United States champion. He delivers. It sucks that I'm happy for him, because I'm not disappointed in any Logan Paul match that I've had. I believe it or not, I don't think I have been. Even when he loses, like he was against Roman Reigns last year. He lost, but it was still a decent match. I was entertained as all hell. Logan Paul's always willing to do riskier spots. He kind of reminds me of like a young Shane McMahon, willing to do these iffy spots, but he's going to be known more than jumping off of a cell and going coast to coast. I think Logan Paul's going to be remembered for a lot more than that. But yeah, it just sucks that now you got two part-time... No, not even that. I mean, the Universal title is part-time, right? Now you got the United States title, which is definitely going to be part-time. And then you got the tag team titles, which are... they vary if they're on or not. Well, that's not true. They're on... Judgment Day's on every Raw and SmackDown.
They're on. They're just not on SmackDown.
Yeah, they're just not defending them on a tag team level like they should. I don't know. And then you got the women's tag team, which goes from show to show. It just sucks. Like I'm not. I always thought as the United States title was very similar to the TV title. Like the title that could be defended on every episode, but. My only guess is it's going to be a short run, and Logan Paul's going to lose it. And, unfortunately, with the outcome from somebody later on tonight, I had the perfect person to take that spot against Logan Paul. What's that?
So that was the question I was going to pose to you all. With Logan Paul being the champ, and I agree with you. This does kind of put SmackDown in a very poor position right now with their two top titles on the brand being held by part-time competitors in Logan Paul and Roman Reigns. Basically, right now, SmackDown, unless Logan Paul is about to go on a extended run with the company where he's showing up week after week, yeah, you do have SmackDown is almost without any champions right now on television. So what the hell are we tuning into every Friday other than the WWE Women's title? Like, is that now the top title on the show itself? That the only hope we have for title matches is in the WWE Women's title scene? Or, yeah, basically that. Kind of a sad position for SmackDown to be in right now, which admittedly WWE might not really give much of a shit about at the moment, given that their deal with Fox is coming to an end. So they may be perfectly happy to let, SmackDown limp its way out the door for whatever remaining time they have left on their deal with Fox. I would think not, but can't underestimate WWE's petty. So, but my question to you all is, with Logan Paul being the new United States champion, A, how long do you think he holds the title? And B, how many defenses of that title does he make between now and whenever he loses it?
Man. I don't know, man. This could be a transitional thing. Like, let's face it, LA Knight didn't come out. The outcome didn't come out the way he wanted it. The way a lot of fans didn't want it. What better way for that man to bounce back and stay on top and stay relevant than taking the United States Championship off of Logan Paul, who has a lot of heat right now. And somebody who we know who's only going to be here part-time. But not LA Knight, not the guy who's willing to be there every fucking week. And if he has the United States title, could you imagine at that point in time having LA Knight your United States champion and having Gunther as your Intercontinental, the importance of those two titles at that point in time. It's very rare that those two titles would be that important and that hot. But I don't know, they might take a completely different route.
No, I like what you're saying. The prospect of seeing, Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion on Raw, LA Knight is the United States Champion on SmackDown, and again with Roman's part-time, schedule or part-time appearances, that would more or less make LA Knight the face of SmackDown.
God, man, he'd be so hot. He would just be the champ. And then you could drag it out a while and have them feud again and be like, hey, no, dude, I'm the champion of this show because I'm the one who's here. You may be the Universal Champion, but I am the SmackDown Champion. I'm the United States Champion. It would bring that prestige up and relevance up, of importance. The stock of the United States title up so high, so quickly, and just right up there where Gunther is, because Gunther's Intercontinental title run right now is so fucking important that it's becoming, a spectacle. Oh my god, Gunther's fighting. Let's find out who he's gonna crush this week. It's exciting. But Carlos, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
I was going to mention that a little bit later, but I felt like if Logan Paul has a short run because of what happens later on, and spoiler alert for people that are actually probably listening and didn't watch the PLE, maybe Doyle, LA Knight loses to Roman Reigns. And I had discussed this with my friend online that I felt that maybe the push for LA Knight to go for Roman was a little bit quick, and maybe they should have given him a mid-card title like the Intercontinental or the US title. So this probably seems like something that would probably be more along the lines of him kind of coming to the rescue of the US title. And I agree. That's probably how it's probably going to end up. If not, maybe at Survivor Series, because it looks like every champion is almost putting their belt on the line at Survivor Series, except for like maybe Roman and Seth. So maybe we'll get that maybe at the end of the year or maybe at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Kind of odd how we all basically just immediately defaulted to when I posed the question of how long is Logan Paul going to be the champion. Everybody was like, "Yeah, he's about to drop that shit to LA Knight."
Fucking transitional paper champion.
Right, yeah, which it makes sense. It makes for a great match at the Survivor Series PLE, especially since they want to build this up to being on the same level of the Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. They want to, build it up as just a stronger pillar of the big four as the other three. This is the perfect match to do it, especially giving you that feel-good babyface moment of him winning the title. Both of those guys can work great magic on the mic and have a hell of a feud and get all the hype behind it. Like, it would have so much momentum behind it. It would kind of be a bit of an awkward shift, though, given that depending on how they book it on this Friday SmackDown, like if they book it as Logan Paul comes out there to gloat, talk shit, I'm the champ, yada, 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 LA Knight. He almost immediately just comes out there. It's like, oh, you just gonna not even acknowledge the fact that you just took a L, you just hop right into the next one. That seems like a hard pivot to make. I think they do need to kind of figure out that transition for LA Knight from having just lost to Roman to now targeting Logan Paul. Hopefully they can work that out and make that transition relatively seamless. But assuming that that's the route they go down and LA Knight does become U.S. champion at, say, Survivor Series, he's in the prime position to be basically, like I said, the top star on SmackDown. With Roman not being there, LA Knight would be there as the champion. He would almost be like a de facto world champion.
Yeah.
Given in the top face position, he would do, and with a good extended run with, there are plenty of heels on SmackDown for him to defend against and to feud with. He could do for that U.S. title what Gunther has done for the Intercontinental title and was doing for it on Raw before they got a World Heavyweight Championship, when the IC belt was the top belt more or less on Raw, because we were hardly ever seeing Roman there. The LA Knight's in that prime position to do the same thing for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let's hope I'm here to see it. I hope they go down that route.
So it's actually a coincidence because Andrea wrote in on our website to the show, and she had a question to ask.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
Let me talk to you!
All right. Well, we kind of answered it because she wanted to know, since, spoiler, since LA Knight lost to Roman, who do you think LA Knight will challenge next? And we want Logan Paul. God, we book it so fucking well. I'm going to go downstairs and go to my 2K game, and I'm going to book this because it's so fucking good. But, oh yeah, what is the next match? The women's match.
Yep. Next up after next matchup was the women's match featuring Io Sky defending the WWE Women's Championship, not World Championship, WWE Women's title against Bianca Belair. This match, given how, I'm gonna say, I think this was the match of the night for me. I think out of all the matches that happened, I think these two kind of performed the best. It slightly edges out Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre for me. Like I said, I thought these two really got to cooking in the ring and were doing great. I loved it up until Bayley came out, which was inevitable. Obviously, she was going to come out and, look great. Always looks great. Always love seeing Bayley. So she came out and tried to interfere, and Io was clearly not trying to see her out there. It's like, why are you here? go away. I really wish they would just kind of bring this all to an end with Bayley interfering, which appears to be the case that they may be possibly going with, because not only did Bayley show up and interfere in the match, we also saw the return of Kairi Sane, who showed up and helped take out Bianca Belair, enabling Io Sky to hit her moonsault and get the 3 count to retain the WWE Women's Championship. So, with that being said, where does this leave Damage Control now? Clearly, Io Sky is much happier to see Kairi Sane than she is to ever see Bayley interfere in one of her matches. For those who may not be up on their history, Kairi Sane, when last seen in WWE, was taken out by none other than Bayley. And that seemed to show itself in Bayley's reaction to seeing the return of Kairi Sane, because she looked rather distraught. And there's also the question of, where does this leave Bianca at now? Because she lost another attempt to get the title back. She said going into this match, she had a goal of taking out Damage Control. Well, she now either has another person in Damage Control to contend with, or just another threat, period, to contend with in the form of Kairi Sane. And they clearly beat the dog shit out of her after the match. So, does Bianca seek out some help? Does she recruit anybody to her? No, I'm not trying to tease Jade Cargill joining up with Bianca. I still don't think it's time yet for Jade Cargill. But there's a lot of questions coming out of this match in terms of where all this is going to go. Like I said, but the match itself, thought it was a good match. Both these women are excellent performers. Again, my 2 faves in the same match, so that may be biasing my opinion a little bit, but I thought it was a really good match, and I did enjoy this match, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we get moving forward in this one. Wayne, what are your thoughts?
You know what? This match was pretty good. Definitely way better than the other women's match we got, for sure. I definitely enjoyed this one way better. Oh man, it just furthers the story of Damage Control. Is Damage Control, beyond fixable at this point? Are they too damaged? Because Kairi Sane back into the picture, there's been rumors right off the bat with they might form a stable with Kairi and Io and Asuka might form this big stable and leave Damage Control, and they'll feud with the remaining members of Damage Control. I don't know. It is making it interesting. It's definitely a nice change of pace of what we've been getting with Rhea. This is definitely interesting, this storyline, because also Bianca Belair is where does she go? She tried and was unsuccessful of capturing the title again. So where does she go from here? I think the heel turn and her joining Montez Ford and joining that upcoming stable. And I heard that they might add B-Fab.
Really? I was about to say, you really think she's going to join despite them having... Despite being B-Fab showing interest?
Because I'm not opposed to having multiple women in one stable, because that makes them even more of a threat.
Yeah, neither am I. Because it's not often we see that.
No, exactly. But that would be something vastly different. Maybe you could have them hold something that would be important, would be the women's tag titles. And I know right now they're a fucking joke, but not if they're in the right hands and in a stable that holds all the gold. I feel like it would be the same if there was another female in Judgment Day. They would probably hold the female tag, the women's tag titles.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, once again, the women have awesome outfits. I did see a lot of people complimenting Bayley's outfit. It shows off some of her curves. Yeah, what a good match, but an end to a feud. Hopefully, I don't know where or who Kairi's gonna, or not Kairi, Io is gonna feud with next. Well, actually, didn't we get I guess not yet. Kind of don't know.
No,
right.
we don't have any indication of who her next opponent would be. Sort of maybe this with Bianca continuing, because that's kind of seems to have been the story for the moment, is that Bianca is set to take out Damage Control, seems to have a real vendetta against them, specifically for what they did to her. So I would assume that this, even though she lost the title, that wouldn't stop Bianca's quest for revenge against Damage Control. She just may have another person to contend with in the form of Kairi Sane. But like I said, it is very interesting, because Kairi Sane's appearance has given Damage Control a much needed shot in the arm of intrigue, especially with Dakota Kai still being sidelined with her ACL, recovering from her ACL injury, and she's not slated to return to action till sometime in 2024. But anywho, Carlos, where you at on this match?
I thought it was a good match. I thought it was obviously better than the women's match, just because it was not as crowded in the ring. But I think it didn't do itself. Well, Hunter didn't do it any favors by booking it right after Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul. Because how do you need that cool off match right after that match? But I guess you have to actually predict that it's going to be a hot match, tough match to follow and things like that. But if you don't put it here, then what do? You put it right after the Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest match. So other than where it actually went into the slots, I thought this match played out pretty good. I know we had speculated that Kairi was going to be coming back, and just because of the whole, I'm not sure. I was saying that I wasn't sure how the Saudi crowd would actually want that, because Kairi is one of these women that had a very great storied career before she joined NXT and WWE and over there in Japan with her Stardom and career and things like that. But it hasn't really she's gained a following, but it hasn't been one of those things where it has helped when she was brought up from NXT to the main roster. She had to be paired up eventually with Asuka, and then they had those Kabuki tag team going on. So I guess I don't know how to book things, because they brought in Kairi, and it ended up being a good surprise to me and also other people, and to Bayley, because of the connection that you had mentioned, that Bayley is the one that had quote unquote put her out of commission. So now we have Kairi and Io, the Sky Warriors, I believe, reuniting here. And who does Io choose? The partner that she's had when she was over in Japan and has some common ground, or the stable that's been keeping her as champion? So as far as the storyline in the match, there really wasn't really anything there that I was more interested in. It looks like it was more about the post-match thing, and that's kind of a sad thing to think about, because Bianca has been like such a workhorse for the company for a long while. And now it seems like she's like a little side story in this title chase, in my opinion.
Yeah. You reminded me about just how dead the crowd was for this match, despite how good the match itself was. And I remember being upset about that too. Because I'm watching the match and I'm like, these women are in this ring cooking right now. And the crowd is just dead. Like, they're barely reacting to anything. And I'm just like, man, fuck y'all. Y'all don't know good shit when you see it. Like, if they were to have moved things around on the card, they could have flipped this match in the women's fatal 5-way match and put this match afterwards. Let Bianca and Io have the earlier spot. But I mean, like you said, on a card like this that has so many crowd favorites, the crowd's going to run out of steam at some point. And unfortunately, it happened to fall on Bianca and Io, which I hate that for them, but they still did put on a great match. And just another point of note, Io and Kairi's relationship isn't just limited to Japan. They also were together in Lucha Underground for a while in the early 2010s. So yeah, they really go back, and it's that connection that's kind of fueled people's speculation for like another, I guess, an all Asian women staple of like the Black Lotus Triad or something of that nature, because that's what existed in Lucha Underground, but it was Io, Kairi, and two other women who are not with WWE now. And some people are thinking that Asuka could slide in as a third spot. And who knows, would they just be a trio? It could just be a trio, Black Lotus Triad, if you wanted to do that, or if they wanted to add a fourth and be super cliche as, another Asian woman in the fourth. There's Mia Yim, who's on SmackDown and kind of not really doing much with the OC other than just being there. So if they want to slot her in as something more substantial, even though she's not Japanese, Mia Yim is just Asian American. So I don't know how well of a fit it would be other than just pure appearance. So, and that I kind of don't like or don't necessarily want to see. It would seem more logical, if they are going to do that, to just keep it to the three of Io, Kairi, and Asuka. But that's part of the intrigue and why this Kairi Sane's return, it seems to have far more interest this time around than it did in her previous time on the main roster, is because of these prospects and people's faith in Triple H's booking, and that he will do something more substantial with these women than what Vince did when he held the keys. So we shall see. Moving forward, the second to last match, we saw Cody Rhodes facing Damian Priest 1-on-1, just because they don't like each other. And top face, top heel. This was about as milquetoast, basic vanilla of a match as you could get. Not that it sucked. It just was. It went down pretty much exactly how anybody who's been watching either of these two would expect it to go down. They wrestle. They beat the crap out of each other. A little bit of interference from the other Judgment Day guys. And Super Cody overcomes it all and gets the win. Yay. What else? It really ain't much else to say about it. This match really could have just not happened on the show. This just, again, feels like we got these top guys. We can't have them not be on the pay-per-view, so put them in a match with each other. And this felt more like a stepping stone match to get to where we currently are with War Games, versus a match that actually had any real meaning to it. This felt more like a stepping stone. And I really wish Damian Priest would have won this match. I feel like he kind of should have won this match to help preserve his status as, one, being a credible threat as a person holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, and two, hold his status as a credible threat as a top heel in his own right, and not just a top heel because he's in the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. He needs to get like some actual wins in one-on-one matches and not just be the guy who coming in tag matches, hitting South of Heaven and getting the pin. So yeah, but and Cody can afford a loss to somebody not named Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. He can afford to take a loss, and he will still be a top babyface. He will still be the guy that everybody is expecting to defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He could have lost this match, and it would not have hurt him at all. But nope, Cody's the top guy. He has to be protected, I guess, or something. But yeah, I did not like the fact that Cody won this match because I felt like he didn't need to. But Carlos, what were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I thought that this match was okay. Didn't really feel like it's kind of necessary for them to have this match. Besides, like, Cody doesn't like Damian doesn't like Cody. They're getting each other's business. Blah blah blah. This is more like a Raw match that you have. Like, it's a main event Raw type of thing. Because it's like they keep building this whole Cody Rhodes has to finish a story, but he's on the wrong brand. Like, Roman Reigns is on SmackDown. What does it matter that Cody Rhodes is still here on Raw? And he's not even challenging like Seth Rollins for the belt.
I know.
And it's like this whole thing where it's like, he has to finish his story. He has to finish. So, like, Cody doesn't go for any titles. He just goes there and is like, he's like
full year.
This, like, he's like a Superman version, or like he's like, well, I'm here for truth, justice, and the American way. I'm gonna make sure that all the heels don't get all the power. So
he's Homelander. That's what his outfit is. Homelander.
Only without the homicidal tendencies. But yeah, it's like it doesn't make sense for this match, like, storyline wise, and it just pretty much, like, I feel like it doesn't do any justice to Damian either, because Damian, he is Senor Money in the Bank, and the way, like, they're supposed to be, like, kind of hyping him like every other person who wins the title of Mr. Money in the Bank, is that they're supposed to be a threat at any time. And every time we've seen Damian try to cash in, something or someone's got in his way. It's like they're like, well, we kind of fucked up we were doing it with Austin Theory. How can we, like, do it even more worse with Damian Priest? I don't know. Let's find out. So, the match itself was okay. It's just like a standard match. Heel trying to win. Heel gets help. But guess what? Cody Rhodes, babyface supreme, ends up coming up on top. And that's it.
Exactly. Wayne, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know what? I guess Damian Priest needs, like I said before, with me not taking Damian Priest very serious as the next world champion, I guess he needs to start doing singles matches, huh? But it makes sense if this guy didn't have the tag titles on him. I mean, it's great that he has them and all, but if you want to take him serious as a singles competitor, this man needs to have singles wins. He has to drop the tag titles to be... It sounds so stupid when you say it, but he needs to drop the tag titles to be taken more serious. I just think that the tag titles were just given to the two wrong guys. I think if they would have maybe have had JD McDonough ever part of the faction, him and Finn, since they're buddy would have been a good tag team. But anyway,
you know what they could also probably do. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
You know how we had that run where a tag team partner would be hurt,
yeah,
and then the other person would just sub in,
yeah,
and they would either win or lose the titles. Why don't we get something like that where like Damien kind of like is unable to perform, and he's like, "Oh, I can't go on." Someone finally, JD McDonough, I accept you as part of Judgment Day. Go in there and hold on to our titles, and that's how you would probably get that belt off of them. We've had precedents for that before, so let's actually use it in a good spot instead of the ways they've been doing it before.
Yeah, you're making sense right there. But you guys, go ahead and finish your thoughts, Wayne.
Yeah. So like, and then with Cody Rhodes, it's like, you know, it gotta finish the story. And it is a full year. That's what it is. Full year of Cody not going. Somehow we're just going to keep him on the other roster, but we're going to keep him away from the world title for a picture. He had his shot. He didn't win it in the very beginning, and that's it. Like, he got screwed over by Brock Lesnar, and since then he's been just trying to earn our respect, I guess, for a full year, beating, you know, I guess, like, yes, Cody Rhodes has a lot of big wins in other companies, in AEW, but I guess when he came back, it's like, you know, you want to be put in the main event, you're going to need a couple more wins. You're going to need, you know, we're not going to go off all of your credibility that you built in AEW. Like, Brock Lesnar was a great win for Cody Rhodes. You know, I think getting over Damian Priest, that's I don't know. He's a hot wrestler right now. Guy won half tag team title. His guy's got more shit than he can carry every time he comes out. Trade it all in for one nice belt, right? You got all this crap you're carrying with you. But also, like, you know, I discussed it before, the lore of the Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, once that's gone, it's not special no more. Like, if you win or lose, like, if you lose, you're nothing. You're not a Money in the Bank winner anymore. You're not a world champion. You're nothing if you lose. But as long as he holds on to that briefcase, he is a fucking somebody. You know? That's that, and he can't have that taken away from him until he cashes in. You know, he's not stupid. He's not going to put it up for grabs. But I just don't believe that he's ready. Not yet.
No, he doesn't come off as credible because, as I mentioned in our preview episode, they've squandered the momentum that he had been building up through earlier this year.
Yes, sir.
He had the great match with Bad Bunny at Backlash, and he got him a whole lot of rave and praise for that. Then he followed that up with winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, and what was a really good match. So now he's got that going. And since then, he's not had any significant singles wins. He became a tag team champion with Finn and is seemingly being I don't know if it's manipulated or just subservient to Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day faction. And then also doing all these fake cash-ins that don't amount to anything. So yeah, all that kind of is slowly but surely killing his credibility as a world title contender. They've really kind of gone the opposite direction in terms of building him up as that legitimate contender. Now pretty much all he has is the fact that he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. And that he's the guy who's probably going to finish off their opponent in a tag team match, but can't get the win in a one-on-one match. So yeah, he's losing his credibility, and he needs to start stacking up some singles wins or something to build himself back up, which is why I think he should have been the one. He should have gotten the win in this match with Cody, because that could have immediately reestablished him as a top contender with that briefcase. Could have immediately reestablished him as a threat. Like, if this guy can beat Cody, he can damn sure beat Seth.
Yeah.
Because those two, you could argue back and forth who's more protected right now between Cody and Seth. But either way, they're clearly the top two faces on Raw right now. So if you can beat one of them, you can beat the other. And apparently Damian Priest can't beat one, so what credibility does he have that he can beat the other? Especially if he's got the logic of, I'm going to cash in after a match with Drew McIntyre, but not cash in after a last man fucking standing match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, well. Any other final thoughts on this match?
I got nothing.
No, we're good to go. Let's
all right.
Move on to the main event.
The main event, which featured Roman Reigns taking on the person who everybody is chanting, Mr. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Yep. For the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. They really need to drop some of those fucking names off of it. God damn it. Drop the damn undisputed. It ain't undisputed no more. There's another one on Raw.
Exactly.
There is dispute. Dispute exists here. So yeah, but no, they still holding on. At least he's coming out in one belt now. At least he ain't dragging the fucking the other two belts with him. So at least we've gotten there. So I guess progress.
Mm-hmm.
But so this match was the second time that I dozed off watching the pay-per-view. I don't know when the fuck during the match I fell asleep on this one, honestly. I just remember having to rewind, and I rewound back to a certain point where I thought I was the last I saw him, and then watched the finish. But what I did see, it was a good match. It did kind of play out not quite as I had forecast in the preview episode, where I compared LA Knight and Roman Reigns to Sting, a Flair Clash of the Champions 1. Didn't quite fully play out like that, but still kind of did, because, coming out of the first Clash of the Champions, Sting lost, but he gained a lot in that loss. He gained credibility. He gained his star rose even higher than it had been before. He went from being just the hot guy that's popular to being a true top babyface, and somebody that people could look at and see as, okay, one day that guy's going to be champion. And I think that did happen for LA Knight in this match. I think he did go from just being the new hotness to now, maybe not fully there, but definitely on the path of being a true top babyface. He's definitely on that path now. He's definitely in that lane, going down that road now. It did still, aside from that aspect of it, I think this match just pretty much played out like every Roman Reigns title match has played out for the last 2 or 3 years. He wrestles, he's dominant, opponent starts to get the upper hand, insert insert bloodline interference, Roman hits a spear, gets the win, walks out champ. It's
Superman
it is what
punch,
it is.
Spear, repeat.
Yeah. It's not that it's bad, it's just the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same good, but never great. And the matches, which is kind of wild, given that earlier this year we were absolutely raving about Bloodline main event matches, but they were more so because of the story that was being told through the matches. That's what was making those matches so special earlier this year. The Roman versus Sami Zayn match, the Roman Kevin Owens match at the Rumble, Roman and Cody. Like, that trio of matches was special because of the storyline going into those matches. Now that there's not really much storyline going into these Roman matches, at least not this one, they just don't feel that special. They just kind of, without the luster of a storyline, they're kind of exposed as being just the bland repeat formula that they have been, which is kind of not good and kind of more of a sign that, yeah, it's probably about, if this thing don't get a shot in the arm soon, it may be time to end this bloodline thing. It's really looking more and more like it's run its course. And it ain't going to be helped if the rumors are true and we don't see Roman Reigns anymore this year. That damn show ain't going to help it at all. But Wayne, what'd you think of this main event?
Man, like, talk about a storyline that was really believable because of how stale Roman Reigns has become as a champion. Excuse me. I thought I saw a post recently discussing how long Hulk Hogan was champion and how many defenses title defenses he had as champion compared to Roman Reigns' title run. It's ridiculous. And this is modern day.
I know it's when you talk about Hulk Hogan. 1,400 days and had like 458 title defenses, whereas Roman's at like just shy of 1,200 days and only had, I think, 58 or 50 something title defenses.
Dude, we're talking like this year, single digits. Like, holy shit! Like, just being able to get away with that for the modern day era, like, you know, and to think there was a time where we didn't have a world title. Like, that wasn't too long ago, kids. Like, we were stuck with just this fucking thing, just Roman having both titles for 3 years, and it's just so bland and boring because it's just like he's beating everybody. AJ Styles smashed them, Cody Rhodes smashed them, Usos, Jey Uso smashed them, Seth Rollins smashed him. Then he went to Raw and got his own title. Like, everybody, Brock Lesnar smashed him. And, who's left? We all know where this is going. It's going to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. That's where it's leading to. And the thing that sucks about that is it makes his story boring until then. Until leading up to WrestleMania, if he defends it at all between now and then, it's gonna, he's gonna retain it. It's just boring. It was so believable with LA Knight just because of how hot he is. But knowing that falling down that tree, the branch that he can grab is the United States title, and that's going to keep him, and we discussed it earlier, just like super relevant. So he's not going to hurt from this at all. The fact of the matter is this guy was he was made a manager, guys, last year. Not even a year ago, I think he was. He was a manager. And now this guy was, main eventing a Saudi show. And the Saudi show has been like, last year, looks like Logan Paul got that opportunity. Seems like guys like this who, I don't expect them in a WrestleMania main event, this year or next, but good place to give them a nice dry run is in a Saudi show. So, LA Knight being where he was in the main event with Roman Reigns, like, this guy has gotten all the way to the top. I get that's honestly, like, in this business, that's as fast as you're gonna go in less than 1 year from being a manager, a mouthpiece, to the main event of a pay-per-view against the undisputed champion. Like, yeah, he didn't win, but this man's story is not over. You want to talk about a story that's actually interesting? The one that everybody's interested in? It's LA Knight's. It's not Cody Rhodes. His story was last year. I'm sorry. I'm just not as into the hype this year as I was before. But LA Knight, it's a whole different story.
Because I think that's because LA Knight is the new hotness right now. And Cody, you're not into Cody's story right now because Cody doesn't have a story right now.
Yeah.
So the second he pivots back to focusing on Roman and the WWE title, everybody's going to be right back into it and right back on the whole completing the story. Because think about it. We're talking about Cody finishing the story, and that is something. How often does that get even brought up on television? I think it was brought up maybe once in recent weeks, but other than that, they don't really talk about Cody finishing the story. Yeah. It's the fans that talk about that more than anything. So that goes to show that there's still interest in that story just because fans keep bringing it up. Mm-hmm. LA Knight, I don't know that LA Knight even has a story right now. He's just the new hotness. And it's just everybody's here for his, I guess, his ascension or just riding the wave of his popularity right now. But I don't know that there's a story there for LA Knight. And again, that's not a knock on him, but yeah, as far as like again, the word story, I don't know where that exists for LA Knight at the moment. Good talk.
Yeah, I mean, like,
no, I want to hear Carlos.
It's like we totally agree. It's just like, what do we do? It's like they want to keep the belt on Roman, and is it because we want to keep the belt on Roman for Cody to take it? Probably, but it's like they're in like some type of limbo because you can't have Roman lose the belt, but you still have to have like some type of carrot to dangle in front of the marks to, well, we can't say no longer buy these pay-per-views, but, like a reason to watch. So, this was the most, I guess, excited for a Roman Reigns match probably someone's been since probably WrestleMania, was it night 2? So, I mean, how long are they going to keep the belt on him? Is it for like next WrestleMania 40, whether it's Cody or somebody else, or are they gonna have him drop it, before then, like at I can't say Fastlane because they renamed that one or they moved it back, but some pay-per-view, if not the Royal Rumble, whatever they put in before the Royal Rumble. So they have to figure out how to do this where it still keeps you engaged with this particular storyline. I like the storyline, but that they have going with the bloodline, but it just like it seems like it's just like treading water until or killing time until it gets to the point where it has to be. And this match just pretty much, it kind of like elevated LA Knight because it showed you that he could go toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns, even though he lost because of the interference of the bloodline. But it's still like we all knew that LA Knight was, well, I kind of knew. I'm not sure. I don't remember this particular conversation that you guys had when you did the preview, if everybody was on board with Roman Reigns retaining, but I knew that LA Knight wasn't going to be the guy to do it still. And at this story, as far as Roman Reigns dropping the belt, still had a little bit further more to go. But the match was entertaining. Could they have shaved off maybe like 5 or 7 more minutes? Yeah, and that's something that I've been noticing, that that Roman Reigns, like his title, like defenses, have all been either like 20 or 25 minutes or maybe even longer. And
that's because you're counting the entrance.
No, I'm not even counting the entrance.
Yeah.
So, you add like another 5 minutes for that, so we're pushing close to a half hour. Because I remember when I was looking at the time remaining, and I'm like, I think the pay-per-view was clocked in at 3 hours and 42 minutes, and this match started like at 3:15. So I'm like,
and the bell rung at 3:30.
I was like, no, they need to shorten it. I know what they're trying to do, but if there hasn't been that time for a story to build up, then you need to be able to be like, hey, we allotted you this amount of time, but we're only going to give you this amount of time because we don't see how this is going to go. So it's just like you're like kind of like a C match to me, kind of overall, because it really didn't. All they did was just elevate LA Knight, but it didn't progress the story, any type of movement for the bloodline.
Yeah, but I think that was also the purpose of the match, too. Because, again, like we've all said, we all knew Roman was going to win. I think the only reason why people were gassing themselves up to think LA Knight stood any kind of chance of it. And they were gassing themselves up just because of we're reaching the point where more and more people are becoming bored with Roman's title reign because of the lack of appearances, because of the lack of title defenses, and because the bloodline story itself seems to have ended. It seemingly ended when Jay split, when they had their match at SummerSlam in the Tribal Combat. And all that. That seemed to be the end of the bloodline story. Everything that's happening since then just kind of feels like a lull. It feels like Marvel Phase 4. Things are happening, but there's no real stakes or anything to it yet. And it doesn't seem to have the same luster as what came before. So yeah, the bloodline storyline definitely needs a shot in the arm of some sort, of some level of intrigue, or it's just going to continue to wane and lose interest in people's minds, and they're just going to keep wanting somebody to just finally end it, somebody to finally just take the title off of Roman so we can all just move on. If they don't do something to make it interesting again, it's going to go from being the thing we looked forward to being the anchor of the ball and chain around our ankles that's just dragging along. And I don't think they want that. So they got to come up with something and some way of, again, reinvigorating the bloodline. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they come up with something and I don't know who need to talk to Roman and tell him, hey, look, man, I know you said you're going to be taking the rest of the year off, but, bro, we need you to pop up on TV and make some more appearances. Now, admittedly, there may be something going on with Roman that we don't know about. There may be an actual reason as to why he's not appearing on TV as much, or why he definitely isn't wrestling as much. I've heard some speculation that he may be dealing with some lingering effects from his leukemia diagnosis from a few years ago. There may be some scars left from that are, surfacing now. Not saying that his leukemia or anything would be returning. I'm not putting that out there in the universe. Nobody wants to see that happen, but
right.
There could be maybe something in that regard, or maybe just who knows what could be going on with his health that we don't know about. That could be a reason why he's not. There was speculation that he got injured in the the match at Fastlane that he had,
right?
And that he's been covering up for an injury, and that's why he hasn't been as active. But who knows? But if Dakota Kai has shown us anything, she's shown us that, damn it, you can be on TV and not wrestle.
Yeah,
Dakota Kai can do it. Damn it, Roman, you can drag your ass out here. Even if it's just some backstage segments. Hell, take a day or two, film like a month's worth of backstage segments, and then go kick it at the crib. So at least you're on TV, even if you're not there live.
Acknowledge me. Insert city name.
Well, I just meant backstage. I didn't mean like actual coming to the ring appearances. But something other than Paul Heyman every week. Call Roman Reigns. Like,
oh my God! Yeah, every week.
How many times can you do that shit? Like, we get it. The whole leading from the shadows thing is it ain't as effective as y'all think it is.
Not no more.
But any other final thoughts on Crown Jewel or the main event or anything else?
Pretty solid pay-per-view. I mean, 8 matches is, well, 8, 9 if you want to count Sammy's match. I don't know. It wasn't too bad. Too bad Doyle missed it. God, man, what a
slacker.
I know, dude.
Yeah, Doyle, get on it. I mean, why don't you just quit that job and just watch wrestling all the time?
I know, dude. Fuck, dude. Just quit your job. That's our advice. If you can get one thing from this podcast, it's quit your job and watch pro wrestling.
All right.
That's all it's about. Carlos, what episode you got coming up next on your podcast?
We are moving along down WrestleMania memory lane and revisiting WrestleMania 14. The
14.
One with Mike Tyson as special guest referee.
The beginning, the genesis of the Austin era.
Yeah,
dude,
so we got that coming up. This, I think we're shooting for this Saturday, the 11th, around 5, maybe 6 Central. Mm-hmm. So you want to follow it, join along, get in the conversation, add your 2 bits. If you saw this pay-per-view live, or if you just saw it like on TV or on pay-per-view, what your thoughts were and things like that. Join our Facebook Live page, stream on our Facebook page, Revisiting the Mania, and our YouTube channel at Revisiting Mania.
Yeah.
If you need to contact us with any of our socials, we're on X and Twitter, X, Threads, and Blue Sky at Revisiting Mania 2. Or as well. At yeah, you know what I mean.
That was a hell of a plug. Jesus. Dre, do you have anything you want to plug?
I have nothing to plug at the moment. As always, y'all can find me in the Discord. Raw, SmackDown, occasionally NXT. Always sharing my thoughts live as the shows air.
Yes, sir. And you can find me just about anywhere under Semi-Dry Chicken. And if you need the QR code or you want to get a link to our website that has all our episodes on it, and it also has a link to our Discord, so you can get in if you want to chat with all of us on Discord, or if you want to submit a question like Andrea does every episode, or you want to rate and review us. I think next, let's see, the next one we are doing is Survivor Series. Oh God, yes! Oh God, that's this one. Wait, where is it? I have a button.
It's coming up fast.
Here we go. Is this button?
War Games! War Games!
Oh, here it is.
War Games!
War Games! Yes. Even though this week when I heard Adam Pearce say War Games, it didn't hit the same as William Regal. War Games.
Because he was like, you want to play games? You want to play games? All you guys do is play games.
I know, he took his glasses off.
Like,
he was serious.
Yeah.
He was to show that he was serious. I'm taking off the glasses. But
I don't know. I thought he did good.
Yeah. No. He's.
I like it when I like the way you said it.
Yeah, he got to set the bar. I get it. Maybe that'll be his new shtick. That'll be his new shtick. But
until Regal comes back next year.
Oh God, yeah, right. So we're getting closer. What are your guys thoughts, real quick, on true or false these rumors about CM Punk returning? Because it's all over the place. I'm hearing.
I know, and they've seemingly ramped back up.
Dude, WWE has not had any contact with CM Punk, and then you heard recently CM Punk and WWE have a meeting. I was like, what is going on? And then the conspiracy people are like, look at what Shinsuke Nakamura said in his one promo. He said this, and it refers to CM Punk's theme music, and he used the GTS, the Go to Sleep, which was also CM Punk's. Somebody is having string and pictures on a board all over the place in their basement, going nuts, predicting that CM Punk is returning. Anything is possible, though. So, damn.
Yeah, anything is possible, but I don't think that they need to pull that trigger.
No, they don't need to at all.
No, it's they're already getting some excitement already going with the talent that they have now, especially with LA Knight. Why would you want to introduce something that you kind of need as in case of emergency break glass? We need to sell the seats and we need to sell merch and everything. It's not needed. It's not needed at all.
Yeah, it's
the WWE. They don't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the thing with WWE is, and CM Punk even has said it in his pipe bomb, is that when I'm gone, the wheel is gonna keep on turning. He's like, this is a machine that never ends, and it's true. It's the company went on without CM Punk for many years and did perfectly fine. As much as I would love to see CM Punk in WWE to wrap up his career and maybe have some fantasy booking matches, but other than that, I'm not ooh, I want to see him go for the world title. So no, I just have a handful of fantasy matches I want to see, and then that's it. But yeah, that would be absolutely insane. I would mark the fuck out. I have a button for that one. This one.
You fucking mark.
It's MJF. So. Yeah, I would mark out if CM Punk returned. What a trade, though, kind of a trade. Not really, but kind of a trade. Edge going to AEW, then CM Punk going to WWE. Some Class A wrestlers right there.
Yeah, WWE does not need him. No. I do not care to see him. And really, I don't want to see him. Mm-hmm. You have plenty of talent on your roster who I would much rather see them invest time in than bringing in CM Punk. Because all he's going to do is take a spot from somebody who's arguably more deserving and suck the air out of the room and eventually become a fucking problem. I have no reason to believe that just because he's in WWE, he's going to fall in line. I have no reason to believe that. So I am good on CM Punk. I'm good on it. And I don't think Survivor Series needs him. They've started throwing some matches together rather quickly this week, and they have intrigue. Admittedly, I don't really have much intrigue in the War Games match itself. It just seems kind of whatever. Top faces, top heel faction, throw them together. Let's see what happens. That doesn't have much interest to me, but Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark, that interests me. Gunther versus The Miz, that interests me. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with some stuff on SmackDown, especially if they give us LA Knight versus Logan Paul. That definitely interests me. They don't fucking need CM Punk at all.
What they do need, they need to have Stone Cold come up with a competing ice cream. When we were one more last plug for my podcast, we were doing the WrestleMania 13,
yeah,
and this came up in the comments. If Stone Cold was to come up with an ice cream, what would it be? And I was like, yeah, why doesn't Stone Cold have an ice cream? He has his beer. He should totally come out with an ice cream because his name is right there, Stone Cold. You know, my wife was confusing it with Cold Stone a couple of times.
Stone Cold Creamery.
Yeah, so they should come out, and then him, Stone Cold, and CM Punk should fight to have ice cream supremacy in the WWF or E.
Stone Cold, Cold Stone. Give me a cold. Oh God.
Nah, he doesn't need ice cream. You know what Stone Cold needs? He needs to come out with his own nuts. Stunning Steve Almonds.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay, that's where that one went. I didn't think.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I think that's how we're gonna end the show. We're gonna end on top because anywhere from here is just down. So, with that said, gentlemen, and we will see you next time.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
And his name is John Cena. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
No, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye. Have a great time.